Hey everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards, and dice. My name's Michael, and today we continue on our journey through Kingdom Death Monsters campaign. This is a Lantern Year 19, and our very first encounter with the level 2 Kingsman. This is going to be an epic showdown for sure. This guy is so powerful, and yeah, it's just, I don't know how we're going to survive this. Anyway, this is my first one back from my little holiday, so welcome back, me. It's good to be back to you. Let's just hope I'm not too rusty and the dice rolls are forgiving. Let's dive in. So first out of the gates, guys, no surprises here. This is Lucky's gear grid, and it's getting messier and messier with the introduction of more and more regal armor. We just can't seem to get any affinities together for this one, or anything too meaningful. But he is carrying his new Finger of God, a wonderful two-handed spear that is going to keep him hopefully out of harm's way while doing a bit of damage to this damn creature. Now, as mentioned, the regal armor is there, giving 4 armor to a bunch of locations. We also have the lantern greaves there, giving 5 points of armor to the legs location, and the leather braces giving 3 points of armor to the arms. Now, I've also got the round leather shield there, which is going to give an additional point of armor to each location, which is very cool for us. And to just top it all off, we've got some dried arcanthus, just in case he sees any severe injuries. Now, Lucky has the Orator of Death fighting art. Once per showdown, you may spend an activation to have all non-death survivors gain +2 insanity. When you die, you also encourage all survivors with your last words, which is kind of cool. We have Cross Arm Block. Whenever you are hit, after hit locations are rolled, you may change one result to the arms location. Not great for us with the leather braces being the least armored location, but if we need it, we'll certainly use it. And he's also got the amazing King's Step secret fighting art. This is the thing that is going to allow us to hopefully bypass some of the Kingsman's defenses. Whenever you attack, you may discard any number of battle pressure hit locations drawn and draw an equal number of new hit locations. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Kingsman, this might be a little bit weird, but you'll see it in action plenty, I promise. Whenever you attack after drawing hit locations, but before rolling to wound, you may choose one hit location drawn and discard it to draw a new hit location. Traps, of course, cancel these effects, but this is a wicked fighting art to have in this particular encounter. Now, Lucky also has Enfeebled, which is his disorder. It takes 1 less bleeding token to kill you. Shouldn't be an issue for us, I hope. But yeah, good luck, Lucky. Oh yeah, and he's also got that Whisker Harp, which gives everyone +1 survival on arrival. Alright, next up we have Freya, who's carrying the Scrap Sword, the Dried Arcanthus, and the Round Leather Shield. Nothing too crazy going on here. We've got a slight limitation with her gear grid as she carries her beloved rock up there in the top right-hand side, so not very useful for us at all. She does have the full set of the Phoenix armor here, which not only grants her the +1 armor to all hit locations, but gives her the Charge special ability, which hopefully we'll get to see in action today. She's got the Extra Sense fighting art. You may dodge 1 additional time per round. She's got Crazed. On a perfect hit, gain +1 insanity. And she's got Tumble, which gives her a 50% chance to avoid collision, which could come in handy, we'll see. She's also just 1 point off Sword Mastery, but she does have the Sword Weapon Specialization. When attacking with a sword, after drawing hit locations, make a wound attempt and then select a hit location to resolve it with that result. We can only do this once per attack, but it is going to be pretty handy for us here. Nothing huge worth mentioning. She does have 11 insanity before she departs here, so that's she's going to have plenty of insanity to play around with. Means she gains +2 movement there. I don't see her dropping below that, so I might just throw a couple of tokens as a reminder. Cool. All right, next up we have Sif going in with her Katar's dual wielding, which is just wicked for us. It means we get to add the speed of the 2 weapons together when we attack. Very, very cool. Now she's got the White Lion armor, which actually gives us a bonus when attacking with Katars, so that's pretty much why we're decking her out. Now I did have to make a bit of a decision here. It was either Dried Arcanthus or a Bone Dagger. to give that connected red affinity there was either +1 movement or survivability. I kind of went survivability here. You might notice as well, she has a gap in her gear grid. That is because she too has a beloved rock. Oh, this thing is a pain in the butt, but we're just dealing with it, right? Now, Sif is ambidextrous, not very useful for us because, she's already got paired gear, but if she ever chooses to get out of the guitar wielding thing, might come in handy, but I doubt it. Unfortunately, she does suffer seizures, which means during the showdown, whenever you suffer damage to the head location, you become knocked down. And she's also got the prey disorder. You may not spend survival unless you're insane. Now, that's okay for us. She does have 11 points of insanity as well, so I don't see things ducking below that. Now, it might be a good time to mention that all survivors will have access to the fist and tooth weapon specialization because one of our founding survivors has unlocked its full mastery. But that's okay, everyone gains the benefit of the specialization, which is kind of cool, especially if you're getting knocked down due to seizures. You may stand if knocked down at the start of the monster's turn or the survivor's turn. So it gives us a bit of flexibility when we choose to become a threat, basically. All right, and last but not least, we have Ceres, our archer extraordinaire. She's got the arc bow there, and we've gone out of our way to get some connected affinities, and a blue affinity over here to give her that bonus to range, +2 to range, but very cool. Now, she's also got the hollow point arrows and the clawhead arrows, 2 types of ammunition, which on a successful hit will reduce the movement and the evasion of the monster. Very, very cool stuff indeed. Now, of course, she's got the full set of the Screaming Armor, which gives her +2 to all hit locations, and the Skewer ability, which is an ability we're probably not going to see used at all during this encounter. She's got the Unconscious Fighter Fighting Art, which means it takes 7 bleeding tokens to kill her. Very cool. And also the Tumble Fighting Art, which gives her that 50-50 chance of dodging any collision. Love it. She has gained her 3rd point in weapon proficiency for the bow, which means she gains the bow specialization. When attacking with a bow, you may re-roll any misses once. That just may come in handy considering the arc bow only has a speed of 1. Woo. Now, Ceres also has a few impairments, I would call them both, really. She has the Broken Arm, which has dropped her accuracy and her strength by 1. That's okay for her strength. She's still got 3 points naturally, but her accuracy has suffered, and she gains -1 accuracy for any of her attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that here so I remember. Now, she's also got the Marrow Hunger. That's not going to come into play during this encounter, but it means if she dies, well, it may not be the end of the world for us. Of course, if she does die, she is carrying the Hours Ring here, which is a very unique ring which allows us to, if she wipes, we can reset the campaign to the, to the previous settlement phase's development step before we departed. It gives us a second chance at the encounter. Now, this is a weird one for filming purposes because I'm not quite sure how I would go about showing the fight. I don't really want to waste your time as far as our campaign goes. I like to keep these things moving. So, if we did die, you are going to see a flash forward through this encounter, and we didn't die. Okay, this is great. If we did die, I'm going to have to cut something in. It's going to be brilliant. But for the moment, we are heading out to take on the level 2 Kingsman. This is going to be nuts. Let's do it. Alright, guys, you got to believe me when I say I have not been looking forward to this encounter. The Kingsman is such a tough son of a bitch that I don't know if we're going to make it out of this alive. Now, this is a very similar encounter to the level 1 encounter, plus a couple of absolutely rotten abilities that this guy has got. Now, to help us out a little bit, we do have the weak spot trait. If we can get behind this beast, he has a -4 to toughness when we attack from the blind spot. That is great news for us because all of the rest is horrible. Being a level 2 Kingsman, this guy has 15 toughness, 6 movement, +1 speed, and +1 damage. Oh, He's got the usual outfighting ability, which means he attacks with reach 2, and he'll always attempt to sort of sit around that 2 distance from our survivors. He has King's Combat, which means at the start of each monster's turn, we perform a basic activation before drawing the AI card as normal. And to top it all off, we have the usual King's Aura. 3 of these battle pressure cards sit on top of the hit location deck, and unless you have the King's Step secret fighting art, these things make it next to impossible to wound this guy. Now, all that is bad news. That's standard level 1 Kingsman stuff. We also have this absolute abomination of a card. Silent Hymn, a strange hymn that cannot be heard, only felt. At the start of the survivor's turn, all survivors gain a -1 movement token. That sucks. When a survivor's movement is reduced to 0, they suffer a random brain trauma. Thankfully, then we can remove all tokens that survivor gained from Silent Hymn, but that's just tough. Now, helping us out a little bit there, we have the Accept Darkness principle, which allows us to roll +2 when we roll on the brain trauma table. So it's not going to be heaps bad news, but it's going to be pretty bad still. Then we've just got this thing here. At any time, a survivor may spend all their survival, at least 1 point, to remove all tokens gained from Silent Hymn. Okay, that is going to be the thing that makes this thing tough. We kind of want to keep our distance from this Kingsman, but it's going to be exceedingly more difficult as the game progresses. I really don't know how well we're going to go here. All right, of course, it starts with the survivor's turn, which means we've got to dish out some of these -1 movement tokens. Ceres, Lucky, and Sif all gain a -1 token, and Freya, who has the 2+1 movement tokens, well, we're going to have to remove one of those. All right, let's see what we can do here. The Kingsman has 6 movements, so we kind of want to end outside of his range. But the fact that he attacks before even drawing his AI card, I don't know how well we're going to go. Now, Lucky usually has 7 points of movement, so that means we have 6 to play around with, and we're not going to be able to get out, are we? Let's just get in and get out with some hits, because he needs to hit so we can get rid of those battle pressure cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to be corner to corner with the Kingsman, which is just good enough to make an attack. Lucky is attacking with the Finger of God's Spear. This is a 2-dice attack, and we'd usually be hitting on 5s, but thanks to his +1 accuracy, we only need 4s. So 2 dice, 4+. 2 very nice looking hits there. Very good. Let's go ahead and draw our 2 hit locations, and we know that both of these are going to be battle pressure cards. Now, thanks to Lucky's King's Step secret fighting art, we can ignore these battle pressure cards, drawing straight through them. So we have our 3 battle pressure cards, we put them down and ignore them. We draw 2 real hit locations and far out. Oh! Not only do we draw an impervious location, that doesn't matter. We draw a trap card, the Acid Blood Discharge. Now, this sucks, all right, straight up, but this may not be so bad. Lucky has a spear specialization card here. When attacking with a spear, if you draw a trap, roll 1d10 and on a 7+, cancel the trap. Discard it, then reshuffle the hit location discard into the hit location deck and draw a new card. We can only do this once per round, so if we reshuffle poorly, well, I don't even know why I'm talking about that yet. We need a 7+ here. That is a 40% chance of ignoring this trap. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We break out of this one. Not so bad, guys. We get a second chance at this. So we're going to take our 2 cards and we're going to shuffle them back into the hit location deck. Okay. Whenever we reshuffle the hit location deck, those 3 battle pressure cards fall back down on top. It becomes an absolute pain in the butt. But the good news is, this is still an attack from Lucky, who has the King's Step ability. So we draw through those 3 battle pressure cards, and we draw 2 more. Have we got this in us? Let's find out. Regal Collar, Regal knees. Not bad, guys, not bad. Now we have a first strike location here, so we have to deal with that one first. If the attacker is wearing any heavy gear, they suddenly feel their knees buckle and are knocked down. Oh man, wouldn't you know it, but those lantern greaves are heavy. None of the other gear pieces we have are heavy. Oh, why did we do that? Okay. We discard both of those hit location cards and those damn battle pressure cards that we worked so hard to get off the deck. They return. Oh. And it's all over for us there. Lucky is knocked down and he can't stand up. He can't dash. Oh, this is bad. Let's give Freya a shot here. Let's see if she can gain the King Step Fighting Art too. This is a long shot, but we need to give it to someone else at this stage. She's going to charge with the Phoenix Armor. How many points of movement has she got? 6 in total now, thanks to that -1. Oh, but it's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can get there right in front of the Kingsman. She attacks with the Scrap Sword. Now this is going to be 2 dice. But thanks to her overwhelming accuracy, we need 2+ to make this work. 2 hits. Alright, these are going to be battle pressure cards. This hit is cancelled. That hit is cancelled. If the survivor is adjacent to the monster, they may King's Step. Let's do it. Oh. So we discard all unresolved hit locations and the attack, and we attempt to overcome. Now, for this to work, we need to roll a 10 straight up. But even if we don't get that 10, one of the other roll results may give us some tempo tokens that we can add to reduce this number we need to roll later on. Let's zoom back in there. You don't need to see my messy table. We roll the dice. It's a 7. Okay, not great, but not so bad. Just as you start to follow the monster's subtle movements, the tip of the Kingsman's foot hooks your ankle. You are knocked down. Gain 1 tempo token. Blasted. But a tempo token means we are just 1 roll closer to gaining a second King's Step Fighting Art. This is not going to be a good start for anyone involved here. Okay. Alright, we jump into Freya's turn here, and she is going to attack with her bow. Now, I know that the next card is a battle pressure card, so it only makes sense that we attack from a distance, because ranged attackers, they are unable to King Step. But it absolutely pains me to know that we're not going to be able to wound here. The good news is, though, even if we manage to hit, the 3rd battle pressure card is gone, and we may potentially get a -1 to evasion on this guy. We're attacking with the Clawhead Arrow, and we need 7+. A 9. Okay, we actually managed to get this hit. Fantastic. We land the -1 evasion token on him. That is a good start. And we can discard this final battle pressure card. Maybe, just maybe, Sif will get in there for an attack. Actually, you know what? Before we hit Sif's turn, I'm just going to move Ceres out of the way. Probably to here. This way, if she's the target of an attack this next turn, she's out of range, I believe. It may be that she's the closest threat, and so I just want to keep her just out of range. Alright, into Sif's turn. I don't think we should go in for the attack here just yet. It may be a waste, I don't know. Let's just try and lure him down this way. So we're going to go 1, 2, just to get out of range a little bit and out of screen. But that should do. Let's move into the Kingsman's activation. So we move into the Kingsman's basic action first. And this is not going to go as I planned. He's got 6 points of movement, so we're going to move him 6 spaces towards the closest threat. Now that's going to be Ceres down the bottom here. There we go. So let's move him on down. We're going to go 1, 2, oh, this is going to suck. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is one option for us, but that's not going to work. So we're going to go to here. At this point, I really wish I moved series over another notch because that blue box, as you can see here, is still going to connect. This is a 3 or 4 speed attack. Oof. Hitting on what would usually be a 3+, he's going to need 5s thanks to series evasion. 4 dice, 5+. Oh, wow! 1 hit. We will take that. We will take that happily. All right, let's find out where though, just to be sure. It's to the chest. 4 points of damage would remove all points of armor there. No, better play it safe. Let's dodge. Now that we've resolved the basic action, we draw our first AI card. What do we get? Spear. Closest threat in field of view and in range. All right, well, that's going to have to be series here. And we're going to move just 1 point over, so he's in range of this attack. As you can see here, the attack goes straight in front of him. Again, 4 speed, 5+. All right, 3 hits, not as good as our last outing, and unfortunately we can't dodge any of these. Maybe it was better to take the hit. Let's roll to find out where. All right, we've got head, chest, and waist for 4 damage. All right, not so bad for us there. Oh, wow. This does have an after damage effect though. We do gain a -1 movement token. Series is down to 3 points of movement. Okay, that is the Kingsman's activation here. We're doing okay, maybe? We don't have any wounds yet. All right. Oh, I forgot. Do have to shuffle up that hit location deck. Supposed to do this at the beginning of the monster's activation, I believe. And then we land those 3 battle pressure cards back on top. All right, at this point, we're gonna have all of our knocked down survivors get to their feet, and they're in a pretty solid position to do some damage here, being right behind the Kingsman. Oof, let's see how we go, huh? We're going to begin with Dryleaf. He's already right behind the Kingsman. So we're going to tuck him in. Do we go right in there? We may as well because we kind of want the benefit from the attacking in the blind spot. So this is going to be 2 dice. Hitting on 2s, it looks like. We get -1 for his accuracy, -1 for the blind spot, and he has a -1 evasion token. 2 dice, anything except for 1s. That's how I like it. A 6 and a 5, that is 2 hits for us, and we chew through those 3 battle pressure cards and get 2 real wounds here. The regal faceplate and the halberd handle. Now for the faceplate, if we hit with a dagger, we gain 3 strength. There's no dagger involved here, but it does have a wound reflex. The Kingsman fights dirty, spewing acid into the attacker's eyes. That's not going to be good if we wound, but we kind of still want to get our wounds in, right? This one here, the halberd handle, has a reflex. Spend 2 survival to gain +1 courage and boldly deflect the halberd, or all survivors within 2 space of the Kingsman are knocked down. Well, I'm thinking let's go the halberd handle here first. Let's see just what we need to roll. We have 9 strength between the weapon and Lucky's natural strength, and thanks to the weak spot trait, we get another -4 to the modifier here. That means we need 2 or more to wound. I like it. All right, halberd handle first. A 4, we do make the wound, discarding our first card from the AI deck. Next, we resolve the reflex here. Spend 2 survival to gain 1 courage and boldly deflect the halberd. Yes, let's do that. We don't need any more knockdown survivors here. Next, we move to the regal faceplate, and chances are we are going to be wounding here. We just need that 2 or more. We get a 5. It is a wound for us. That's the good news. The bad news is we have to resolve the wound reflex here. If the attacker is within 2 spaces of the Kingsman, they gain -2 accuracy tokens. Ouch. Okie dokie. Let's not end it there though. We'll spend a point of survival to surge. 2 dice, 2+ again. A 7 and an 8. 2 hits. Let's find out where. The regal knees. Oh, this is a pain in the butt, this one. Doesn't really matter what that other card is, the regal knees. If the attacker is wearing any heavy gear, they suddenly feel their knees buckle and are knocked down. I'll tell you what, I didn't think of this before, but The other bonus from our King's Step secret fighting art is that whenever you attack after drawing hit locations, but before rolling to wound, you may choose one hit location drawn and discard it to draw a new hit location. Let's do that. Let's get rid of these regal knees and draw another one. The regal helm. This is another one of those hit locations where we gain bonuses if we hit with a dagger, but we did not. Let's roll to wound. Just realized the roll to hit to wound there should have been a 4+ thanks to our -2 accuracy tokens. But we rolled well, 7 and 8, so it doesn't change anything here. All right, let's roll to wound. Yep, I'm thinking let's hit this regal helm first. Still just need the 2+. Let's see if we can pull it off. A 2. Yes, we barely pull it off here. So this one has a wound reflex on it. Attacker gains +1 survival. Nice, that's good because we've spent a fair few. The Kingsman staggers and gains -2 toughness until the start of the next monster turn. Awesome. Pop them down there. We gain that point of survival. All right, onto the regal collar. This has a death blow. Unfortunately, we're not going to be killing the Kingsman here, but if we can shuffle that up again, that'll be pretty sweet. We get a 7, which is another wound. Brilliant. It's probably time to bail. Get out of there, buddy. Get out of there. So we'll spend a point of survival and dash. Now, at this point, all of our characters have another -1 movement token. That means Lucky still has 5 points of movement, but the other guys, well, they're not faring as well. Let's get out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just, Let's head over here. But then we won't be able to attack the next one. Well, Lucky's got a fair decent amount of armor, so we're going to move this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hoping to draw his attention, and maybe we can get the Kingsman to attack him, maybe revealing his blind spot to all the other survivors. All right. Who have we got next? Let's get Freya into it. She's next closest to the blind spot, so how many points of movement has she got? She has 5, so we're doing okay. 1, 2, 3, we're going to get right in that blind spot there. Attacking with the scrap sword, we have 2 dice, looking for 2+ here. Not so bad. Oh, 1 actual miss. That's a shame. But we do get a hit there, so we're going to draw a hit location, hoping for something decent. The regal breastplate, this has a reflex on it, and it's going to move... Ooh, it's going to move our monster backwards, so this may not turn out too well for us. Let's roll to see if we can wound though. We're going to actually need 4. Ooh, okay, no, 2+. Usually it'd be a 4+, but thanks to our 2 -2 toughness tokens, 2+. That's great. I'm glad we get a 9 there, not the 1 that it was teetering towards. We'll take that wound, discarding another AI card, but we do have to resolve this reflex. Turn to face the attacker, then without turning, move the monster 2 spaces directly away. If the attacker has King Step, which she doesn't, they may follow the King's Man and move 2 spaces forward. Otherwise, cancel all hits. Now out of range. Well, it's only 1 hit, so not bad. So we're going to go 1, 2, and land directly on top of Ceres. Ouch. Luckily, Ceres has dodge, so we can hopefully get her out of the way. We do need a 6+ here, though. 5, no good. So she gets pretty much stood on by this armored beast, and she gets knocked back 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and off screen. Now Freya's in probably an okay position there. She's likely going to be the next target, but she's got the Phoenix armor and a shield, so I like her odds. We'll leave her there, and we will move over to Sif. Now, for us to get in range of this attack, we are going to have to dash to move here. So, what do? She's only got 3 movement. This sucks. So let's just do her movement. 1 space forward here, and then we're going to spend a point of survival to dash. Now, we're not going to use this for a movement, but we are going to use it with her activation so that she can pounce. This is a special ability granted by her White Lion armor. So 1, 2, 3, we move her 3 spaces, and then we activate her weapons with an added bonus. All right, for the pounce, she gains +1 strength and +1 accuracy. That's great, but because she's also attacking with katars, her white lion armor gives her +2 strength and +1 speed. That means we're going to be rolling 5 dice here, looking for 5+. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got a 6 over here. So 4 hits, not so bad at all. Let's find out what we're getting. First up, the Regal Gut Plate has a reflex. The Regal Gauntlet, this is one of those dagger hit locations. The Regal Back and the Regal Sabatons. This is pretty cool. Give me a sec. We've got a couple of wound reflexes and a definite reflex up the back. All right, so these two here, the Regal Sabatons and the Gauntlet, they are going to give +1 survival if we can make the wound, and the Kingsman will stagger for each hit with -2 toughness. Brilliant. We're probably going to go for those first because this third one, Regal Back, if the attacker has 3 or more understanding, which she does, the subtle pattern of the monster's evasive steps are laid out in the open. The attacker is on the verge of learning something big and may spend 5 survival to gain +1 permanent accuracy. That is amazing. The last one here, the Regal Gut Plate, is going to put the Kingsman out of reach for any of these additional hits. So we're going to roll these ones just like that. All right. Now we've only got 6 points of strength between her natural strength and the weapon. But we do gain these +3 strength here. So that is 9, which would mean we need 6+ to make the wound. But we also have 2 -1 toughness tokens there, which bring us to 4s. That is pretty solid. Let's go the Regal Sabatons first, 4+. And it's a big hit with that 10 there. No critical wounds on this one, but that is okay. The attacker gains +1 survival and the Kingsman staggers, gaining -2 to toughness. We add 2 more tokens there, and that would bring us to 2+. Let's go to the Regal Back here because I'm pretty sure we're going to be spending a bunch of survival with this one. We need 2 or more. It is a 4 back there, so that is a wound as well. Excelente. This wound reflex here is going to cost us 5 survival, but the benefits far outweigh the cost, and we gain +1 evasion. She drops all the way back to 2 survival, but I'm hoping we can gain 1 back here. Another 2+, 7, we are looking good. Another wound, and we gain a point of survival back. Finally, we have the Gut Plate here, still going for 2s. Whoa, big hit, big hit. The Kingsman is knocked down. Oh, no reflex there. This is big for us, guys. This is really big. All right, our 2 hit, now that the monster is knocked down, skyrockets to a 3+. That's pretty cool for us, and I think that warrants a surge from Sif. Another 5 dice. This time we just need 3+. That is a pretty bad roll. 3 out of our 5 rolls miss. Although that's probably a good thing considering there is a trap getting closer and closer to the top of this hit location deck. First up, we have the Halberd Spear and then the Axe Blade. Both of these are first strike and do not help us at all. If the attacker is wearing any heavy gear, they suddenly feel their knees buckle and are knocked down. Well, the White Lion gear is heavy, so she becomes knocked down. No extra attacks in there, and fully resolving that hit location, we add the battle pressure cards back on top. However, that is going to be the end of the survivor's activation there, and we add all hit location cards to the deck, and we place those 3 battle pressure cards on top. Everything is reset there. The Kingsman, of course, stands up, and he's cranky. Let's see what he does. First up, we have his basic action, and he's going to move towards Freya up there. He, of course, will stop just outside of reach because he has reach, and we give a massive sweep with his halberd. It's going to be 4 speed, 4+, thanks to her evasion. 1, 2, 3 hits there. We missed one, that's good, but I wish we missed more. Let's find out where. Head, legs, and waist. A good spread. Look, we may as well dodge. Well, let's dodge two of them. Let's dodge the head hit and the waist hit. Now, normally, of course, you can't do that, but Freya will be taking advantage of her extra sense fighting art. She drops down to 3 survival, and we get 4 damage to the legs. Now, we do have to resolve the rest of this one here. She will suffer bash and knockback 5 in the direction indicated by the arrows. Flipping this one over, she's going to go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knocked down, very unhappy there. Lucky is the only one still on his feet. We draw the AI card next in the deck, and we get Force Thrust. Not ideal at all. The closest threat in field of view and in range, it's certainly going to be Lucky, and we full move towards the target. So we're going to go 1, 2, and he's going to stop there because his reach allows. Now this is actually not so bad. I thought this would actually be hitting Freya over here, but we'll be out of range, so that is lovely. This is going to be a force speed attack, and it will hit on 5s. Okay, let's see how we go. Yeah, all right, just 1 hit there, back here, love it. Let's find out where. To the head. Ooh, straight to the head. We're going to go ahead and dodge that one there. A quick duck and move out of the way for Lucky. Good job, mate. All right, that's the end of the Kingsman's attack, and we're going to have all of our survivors jump back up onto their feet. This being the start of the survivor's activation, each survivor will gain a -1 movement token. Now, Lucky would love to get in a blind spot here, but he only has, 4 points of movement. He started off pretty strong with movement, but yeah, he's not going to be able to get back there without a dash. Actually, considering he has a bunch of minus accuracy, we best dash him out behind there. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And surge, spending 1 point of survival to move right into that blind spot. We're going to be attacking with that Finger of God's Spear again. 2 dice. We need 5s here. 2 8s. Hey, definitely okay with that. Let's find out where. Of course, we have to get rid of all of our battle pressure cards. All 3 of them leave, and then we draw 2 actual hit locations: the Regal Gutplate and the Axe Blade. The Axe Blade, of course, is a first strike location, and if the attacker is wearing any heavy gear, they suddenly feel their knees buckle and are knocked down. I hate this one. Now, Lucky, of course, is wearing heavy gear with his boots, so we're going to go ahead and utilize his King's Step secret fighting art to discard a hit location and draw another one in its place. And it's the same thing, essentially. He is knocked down. Now, adding insult to injury here, we now have to add those 3 battle pressure cards back on top of the deck. Ouch. All right, let's get in there with Freya. She has 4 movement points as well. She's going to attack super strong. Firstly, we resolve to hit. 2 dice, 2 plus here. 7, 6, 2 hits. And let's just resolve these battle pressure cards. So we draw 2 of them because we have 2 hits, and we're going to go ahead and King's Step here because I want to. Now, she has 1 tempo token, so we will be successful on a 9 or a 10. I don't believe it. Great. We've had some solid luck with the King's Step fighting art. We get the 10 plus here because we add the +1 to our 9. You grasp the pattern behind the monster's fine movements, a rhythm that lets you control the pace of the fight. You have overcome the battle pressure and learned something valuable. Gain the King's Step secret fighting art. This is going to have to replace one of her existing fighting arts, so let's ditch Crazed. The other 2 have just been way too useful. And we did it. This is brilliant. She's going to surge and attack again. 2 dice, 2 plus, 5 and a 4. Brilliant for us. We lose that last battle pressure card and we draw 2 actual hits. What have we got? The regal knees come through with the first strike location. Let me check her gear. Wouldn't you believe it, but the Phoenix armor gear is not heavy. None of her gear in the gear grid is heavy, so we can attack as normal. I love it. All right, I'll work out strength in just a sec. I'm thinking that is going to be a fine order to roll things. Man, we're actually going to need 8s here. Oof, don't like that. All right, 8, 9, 10, come on. A 7. Yeah, not quite good enough. So we'll discard that hit location with no ill effects, but then we have the halberd handle here. Come on, come on, come on. A 3, no good. We do get the reflex here though, so let's figure out what's going on. Spend 2 survival to gain +1 courage and boldly deflect the halberd, or all survivors within 2 spaces of the Kingsman are knocked down. Yeah, Freya wouldn't mind a little bit of courage. Let's do that. That means she's down to just 1 point of survival. Might almost be time to use that to gain her movement points back. How about that? All right, she's done her bit though. We've gotten rid of those battle pressure cards. Let's have Ceres get stuck in with the bow. Now she's a fair distance away. I believe it's that space there, but she does have a range of 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, easy. We're gonna roll the hollow point arrow. This is gonna be hitting on a 6+. That's pretty good, for us at least. Yeah, big hit. We throw a -1 movement token down next to the Kingsman's stuff. That's good. It slowed him down a little bit. Let's see what we hit. The Regal Helm. This is one of those dagger hit locations. Let's see if we can wound this thing. Now the hollow point arrow has 11 strength behind it, which is insane. Ceres herself has 3 points, so that means we just need the 2+ here. Come on, come on, come on. A 2, whoa. Sneaking by, we do get that wound. She gains 1 point of survival, and the Kingsman staggers for -2 toughness, just the way we like him. Lastly, we've got Sif, and she has been caning it with the guitars. Let's see if she can actually, excuse me, let's just head on back, and I think we can attack again with Ceres if we're a bit tricky. Sorry about that. We're going to surge, getting her activation back, and then we're going to use her movement and activation to fire off a shot with the arc bow itself. Honestly, we're getting pretty close to the end of the deck, and every wound counts here for us. So, 1 dice, 6+. A 3, no good. Okay, don't mind me, guys. Let's shuffle on back over to Sif, see if she can do some damage. Oh wait, yes, she has the weapon specialization. Oh, I almost lost it there for a minute there, guys. All right, the bow weapon specialization allows us to re-roll any misses once. Let's do that, and hopefully we don't roll a 3 this time. A 7, much, much better. That is a hit, and let's pull our next hit location card. The Regal Back. If you hit with the dagger, we do not. Hey, we've had this one before. If the attacker has 3+ understanding or King's Step, we can spend a bunch of survival to gain a permanent evasion. Ooh, we do have a bunch of survival too. This is brilliant. Now, what do we need to wound? We have -2 to toughness, 2+. I love this bow. 5, brilliant. So we discard another card from the AI deck, and we resolve this wound reflex. She does have 3 or more understanding. In fact, it's 3 on the ball. And so yeah, let's spend 5 survival to gain permanent evasion, because that's what we're all about here. And that means she is down to just 1 point of survival too. Whew, into this home stretch, right? Okay, now let's go over and handle Sif. Hey Sif, welcome back. All right, let's get you attacking with some katars now. Let's just quickly see how many points of movement she's got left. She's got 3 -1 tokens, so 2 points of movement. 1, 2, we're gonna have to surge if we're gonna get her into that blind spot. So let's move her up here. We'll surge, and then bang. All right, guys, you know how she rolls. 5 dice, 5+. 1, 2, whoa! 5 hits. Holy mackerel. That is pretty cool. Let's just find out how cool though. Regal Sabatons, Regal Breastplate, Regal Gauntlet, Regal Collar, and the Regal Greaves. Love it. All right, I think this is a pretty fine order for us. We are going to miss out on one of these hits here because of that jumping away reflex, but we can at least get 4, so that could be cool. Now we didn't pounce, so we don't actually get all of our strength tokens. We just get 2 to play around with today, but that's all right. Pop them there. All right, with all of our strength tokens and a couple of -1 toughness tokens, we are still going to need to roll 5s or more here. So let's do our very best. All right. Big hit. Unfortunately, no critical wound, but that is okay. We gain +1 survival, and the Kingsman suffers another -2 to toughness. That brings us to 3s. All right, the Sabatons, 3+. 7, love that there. Another point of survival. On to the Regal Collar here. All right, that's a 7 and it's a hit. Forgot to add those -toughness tokens again, but that's okay. It's still a massive hit for us. This is a death blow location. Unfortunately, we don't get to resolve that one, but it is a wound. And then lastly, we have the Regal Breastplate here. We only need 2s or more thanks to our massive amount of -1 toughness tokens. 3, a good hit for us, or at least a hit. We do have to resolve the reflex though. Turn to face the attacker, then without turning, move the monster 2 spaces directly away. If the attacker has King's Step, they may follow the Kingsman. She does not, so the Kingsman is going to go woo, 1, 2, and that is that. Sif cannot keep up. She's already dashed, so she can't dash no further. That is it for the Survivor's activation. Pretty solid for us. There are 2 cards left with the Kingsman, and they are the ones we've already seen in action. First off, let's do his basic activation. Now, the closest threat for us today, boom, is actually going to be Freya over here. But this is a massive hit for us because it's going to hit 1, 2, 3 of our survivors. Oh, I hate this little blue box of death. All right, let's do Freya first. This is 4 speed, 4+. 1, 2, 3 hits. Oof. 2 to the legs, 1 to the arms. That would be 8 damage to the legs if we let it happen. So we are going to dodge this one. The other 2 hits hit and they hit hard. 4 points of damage to each. And she goes flying. Bash and knock back 5. The attack, oh, I've done the attack the wrong way. Well, that shouldn't affect anyone, I don't think. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and send her up flying that way. But for future reference, I should have gone this way. Okay, let's go with Sif here. 4 dice, 5+, that's pretty cool. One hit. All right, we might actually get out of this one a little bit. Don't run away, Lucky. Where's the hit going? To the legs. Well, I already know I don't want to take this hit, so I'm going to dodge it, and she doesn't get knocked away. Now, Lucky, on the other hand, he's also 4 dice on a 5+, 2 hits. All right, he's not going to be able to dodge both of those, so he's going to get knocked pretty far here. Let's find out where. Chest and arms. Let's take it to the arms, and we will dodge that chest. Now Lucky gets his after damage effect here. He gets some knockback, bash and knockback 5. Wow. So we're going to move him on down. There we go. All right, and now we're into the Kingsman's AI activation here. It almost got away from me. All right, what do we got? The Force Thrust, closest threat in field of view, in range. Well, guess who is already in range? Poor Sif. All right, what are we doing? Full move towards the target. Well, we're already in place. Make a separate attack against each survivor in the highlighted zone in the order indicated by the white arrows. It's going to be 4 speed and 5+. She does well with this, so let's see just how we go. Ooh, 2 hits there, 2 fairly decent hits. Let's find out where. Arms and waist. Now we've already dodged our way out of 1 attack this turn. We are going to have to take both of these. But that's alright, we do have the armor to back us up. It's just we will be suffering light wounds on each location. Alright, that being done, now we can move into the survivor's activation. Now we've got our crew a bit spread out at the moment. Those hits certainly did not help. Oh, Sif. I almost forgot she's going to suffer some knockback here. What's going on? Bash and knockback 5. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's well out of there. I honestly can't even show everyone on the same screen. But everyone will stand up at the beginning of their activation, and unfortunately, everyone loses 1 more movement. This is the 4th survivor's turn, so that means... Oops. She was over there. Okay, no, that's not right either. She was there, and he was there. Okay, now, sorry about that. Oh, I'm going blind in my older age, right? Alright, hang on. Let me backpedal a bit. We're in the survivor's activation. Everyone has stood up. Next, we dish out all of these -1 movement points. It's the 4th round, so everyone will be receiving their 4th token, but Ceres already has 4. She gained a negative movement point thanks to the spear attack earlier. This would be her 5th point of movement lost, and that would mean she would have to suffer a brain trauma. We're going to go ahead and cash in on this silent him trait. At any time, a survivor may spend all their survival, at least 1 point, to remove all tokens gained from silent him. So before this goes off for the turn, Ceres is going to spend her last remaining point of survival to remove all of those -1 tokens. However, that's only going to save her just a little bit. She will still gain 1 for the beginning of this turn. So Ceres is -2 movement. 1 for the silent him, 1 for the spear attack. Both Lucky and Freya have 3 movement. And Sif, she's just got 1 left. We're going to go ahead and activate Freya up in the distance here. Now, with her 3 movement, she's not going to be doing too well, so we're going to spend her last remaining point of survival to clear out all of those negative movement points, and she is going to charge. 7 points of movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's going to land right in front of the Kingsman. She attacks with her scrap sword. 2 dice, 2+ here. 2 hits, 2 sixes. Love it. We run through those battle pressure cards because she has that King's Step secret fighting art. They are gone, and we draw 2 actual hit locations, the Regal Breastplate and the Regal Greaves. Now both of these have a reflex which will move the Kingsman out of the way, but we're not so worried about this because we have that amazing King's Step fighting art. You'll see. Now we are going to need 8s here, so I don't know, this maybe wasn't the best idea. A 4, no good, but the reflex still goes off. Turn to face the attacker, that's all good. Then without turning, move the monster 2 spaces directly away from the attacker. If the attacker has King's Step, yes, they may follow the Kingsman and move 2 spaces forward, otherwise cancel all hits now out of range. She is in range for her next attack. We still need an 8+. And we get the 3 again. No. 1, 2. Now she could move in, but we won't. There is no need. She's run out of survival, and yeah, we've not done too well there, guys. Kind of regret my decision to charge in. All right, the other guys are pretty far away here, but those battle pressure cards have been taken care of. Let's get Ceres involved with the bow. We're gonna roll for her arc bow. It's just gonna be 1 dice, hitting on a 6+. 5, that is, no good. We do get to re-roll thanks to her bow specialization. Hopefully we can get that 6 this time. And a big hit there, that is a 10. So we draw our hit location card, and what do we have? The axe blade. This is a first strike. If the attacker is wearing any heavy gear, they suddenly feel their knees buckle and are knocked down. We've got no heavy gear, so this is a proper wound attempt. She has 13 strength between herself and the bow, which means we only need 2s or more here. 7, a strong hit, and we discard an AI card from the deck, leaving only Force Thrust in the discard pile. Now I would love to surge and attack again, but we just don't have the survival to pull it off. So we're gonna go ahead and move 3 points out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully this means the Kingsman will ignore her over the next attacks. Now Lucky is just too far out of the way to actually make this work. He is not going to be able to get in for the attack. So what do? He's got 3 points of movement, 1, 2, 3. We could surge 1, 2, 3 and get him in close. I'll tell you what, he's actually just probably going to hit the bugs up here, guys. This is a little bit weird, but Lucky goes off thinking, you know, he is lucky. He sees a pile of bugs and he's like, yeah, maybe we'll get something cool. So we roll our dice, I guess. And the insects scatter, leaving their meal behind. We gain 1 random basic resource and archive the terrain. That's good though. We do get a questionable resource, which is 1 of whatever the heck we want it to be. Not so bad at all. And next we move him on out. 1, 2, 3. And we'll surge, leaving him with just 1 more point of survival. 1, 2, 3. We're getting him in as close as we can because he is lining up for his last attacks after the Kingsman has another shot. Then we move on out to Sif's turn. Hey, how you doing out there? We are going to spend all of her survival so she can gain all her movement points back. 5 points of movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's gonna get in close and hopefully that means she's in range for some attacks later on. That's it for the turn though, and the Kingsman draws his basic activation. He first targets survivors in the blind spot and then the closest threat. This is going to be Freya. He moves 1 space in and uh-oh. The Kingsman lines up his shot first against Ceres down here. 4 dice, he's gonna need 6s to hit here because of her really solid evasion. 1 hit! 1 hit! Yeah! Alright, now we've got no survival here, so we kinda need a bit of luck here. To the arms. Alright, 4 damage there, thankfully she's armored up. And that's not gonna be the end of the world, but she does get a massive swing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's gonna land directly in Lucky's spot here. We'll work that out in a sec. Firstly, she goes through Ceres, who has the tumble ability. Let's roll, and hopefully we can get a 6 or more. A 7, yes! So she steps on out of the way, and that means she is not going to be targeted by this attack. Alright, so the way knockback works, if 2 survivors collide with each other and end up in the same spot, well, they can't end up in the same spot. So we have to move the other survivor to an adjacent free space, and both of these survivors become knocked down. That's it for the basic action. We do have that final card floating around in the AI discard, the Force Thrust. Closest threat in field of view, it's gonna be Ceres. Sorry guys, I realize I did that attack quite poorly. I ended up attacking from here. In actual fact, the Kingsman can move 1 step forward and target both of our survivors there. All right, now that I've got that together, let's bring on the pain, I guess. The first attack is going to be against Freya. This is going to be 4 dice, hitting on 6s. And we absolutely jag it. I'm not going to lie, that didn't happen last time, but that is good. So she doesn't get hit, but at the back we have Sif, and she too is going to suffer 4 dice, but this time it's going to be 5s or more. 3 hits. Brutal stuff. Let's find out where. Head, waist, and chest. Now the head wound goes to a heavy injury, and so she'll be knocked down, but of course, that's not going to be it. The body gets hit for a light wound, and that waist, well, that's already got a light wound in here. This is going to bring us past that heavy wound and into severe injury territory. Now before we do all of our knockback stuff, I have some good news. Sif, of course, is holding on tightly to the dried Arcanthus And this is why we brought this damn thing. When you depart, gain 2 survival. Yeah, that doesn't matter. When you suffer a severe injury, ignore it and archive this card. Yeah. So we archive that card and we ignore the severe injury that would come from that waste hit. She, of course, now goes flying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Way down the board. Is knocked down. And that's about it for that. Not gonna lie, guys, that kind of worked out a little better than I thought. Alright, so that is the end of the Kingsman's activation, and we'll have all of our survivors knocked down or far in the distance. They're all gonna stand up, and next everyone gains a -1 movement token. It shouldn't matter though, I'm thinking we can finish this off here. Alright, so we've got to get 2 wounds out. And we really want Lucky to deal the final wound, okay? We don't want to have to deal with another King's Armor situation. Now the question is, do we risk sending another survivor in first with the... we're only hoping to get rid of 1. Nah. Now we're going to move Lucky in. He's going to do this. He only has 2 points of movement at the moment. So we're going to go 1, 2. And we're going to lay in with that Finger of God's Spear. This is going to be 2 dice. And 5+ thanks to those 2 -1 accuracy tokens. I'm pretty sure I've forgotten about those a couple of times. I'm sorry if I have. Anyway, 2 dice, 5+. 1 hit. Not good enough. It's alright. 1, 2, 3. We carve through those battle pressure cards because of that King's Step fighting art, and we draw a real hit location. This is the Regal Greaves. Okay, this has a reflex. So I'm hoping we can wound. We're gonna need 6+ here, guys. 6+ to make this wound. Far out. Let's wish us luck here. Boom! Big hit. Exactly where it counts, except there are no critical wounds here, but that is fine. We get the wound, so we discard that Force Thrust card, and then we do the reflex here. The King's Man turns to face the attacker and then moves back 2 spaces. Our attacker may follow if they've got King's Step, and you know he is. He's going to spend his last point of survival for this one last attack. Otherwise, we're going to have to welcome a new set of Regal Armor into the team. Again, 2 dice, 5+. 1 hit. Oh my god. This is too much. Where are we hitting? The Regal Knees. It's a first strike location. No! Alright, we're going to use our ability and we're going to discard this card to draw another one. Halberd Handle. Much better. Much better. This has a reflex on it. We need that 6+, guys. Oh no! The 5. I want a reroll on that. Survival of the fittest here. Once per lifetime, a survivor may re-roll a single roll result, and they must keep this new result. I'm going to take this dice, and we're going to roll a 6+. Boom, yeah! Boom, yeah. I don't even know what that is. I got too excited there. That is a hit, but not only that, that is a critical wound because Lucky has just 1 point of luck. So it doesn't really matter, but here it is. The halberd handle splinters. This is epic. This is essentially the clash of the kings here, guys. Lucky and his finger of God against the lantern halberd. The halberd splinters, and the king's man gains a -1 accuracy token, but it don't matter. That is the last wound that we needed to take this guy down. Alright, that was certainly another brutal King's Man experience. We almost died so many times there, but we didn't, and we are here to celebrate another day. We move into the aftermath, and all of our survivors gain 1 hunt XP. Freya hits her 4th and final age milestone. We'll do that in just a sec. All of our survivors gain a weapon proficiency because they all hit with their weapons. Freya hits her sword mastery. She has done so well for us. So, sword mastery. A sword master gains +1 accuracy, +1 strength, and +1 speed when attacking with a sword. Amazing. All survivors gain the sword specialization in addition to their other weapon proficiencies. That is also amazing. And that means everyone's going to get, when attacking with a sword after drawing hit locations, make a wound attempt and then select a hit location to resolve with that result. Sif gains her Katar specialization. Let's see what this one does. When attacking with a Katar, cancel reactions on the first selected hit location. That's amazing, considering we're like hitting with 1,000 hits with that thing. And lastly, Lucky. Now he gains not 1, but 2 spear weapon proficiency points. This is just one of the benefits of fighting the Kingsman. All right, now, after that we move to the rewards, and these are not always great for us, but we get through. The air grows still and a palpable feeling of dread comes over the survivor that dealt the final wound to the Kingsman. King's Curse. This basically means he's going to be getting his second last piece of regal armor. We roll our hit location dice and see just where he gets it. Legs, alright.
Searing pain shoots up from your legs, from your burning feet. Your leg bones shatter and reform in the shape of plated armor.
So that is the regal boots. We'll check them out once we hit the settlement phase. But he's just one more piece away from being gone. Last but not least, we roll on the table below. We roll 1d10 and we add the defeated monster's level on the table below and we gain the following rewards. We're fighting a level 2 Kingsman, so 2 plus 7. Amazing! 1 steel sword rare gear and 1 basic resource. We add a monster hide to the collection. Now we'll head back to the settlement and check out all of our new gear, but first we have Freya's final age milestone. Right, and so it's not often that a survivor makes it up to this level on the age track. Freya becomes a lucky elder, and we're going to be rolling on this table here. We get 2 dice, something big. Oh, very nice. So we get 13, and on the table for us, that is gain plus 1 permanent luck. It's only going to be for 1 encounter, because that's all she's got left in her, but couldn't have picked a better attribute to raise. All right, guys and gals, it's the one we've all been waiting for. Lantern year number 20. Our survivors return from their encounter with the Kingsman level 2, and they bring with them 4 endeavors to play around with. Now we've got a couple of events that we need to take care of. First up, we are going to draw a random settlement event card from the deck. We get Plague. We've had this one before, and this one kind of sucks. Sickness sweeps through the settlement. Survivors are stricken without warning, made too weak to even care for themselves. Select 4 survivors with at least 1 hunt XP, and they are infected. Each rolls 1d10. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple of survivors. Bear with me. I'm going to go for a couple that we haven't heard from for a while. Eris, our possessed survivor who gave up all ability with weapon proficiency, fighting arts and all that stuff. I thought it would be fun, but it's just a little bit limiting for us. We have Rain, who used to be working on her dagger proficiency. She came face to face with the Phoenix a couple of times, I believe. Dryleaf, who is, not so bad at all. I don't know why I've chosen him for this. He's the lesser of all the evils. And then we have Nora, who has a dismembered arm and an apathetic disorder with 0 understanding. All that boils down to, she sucks. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and roll for them. We'll start with Nora. 4. Does the settlement have bloodletting? I don't believe we do. And your body tries to fight the infection. Unless you receive treatment, see below, you will die at the end of the settlement phase. So we would need to spend an endeavor to give treatment. That's Nora. She may die. Next up, we've got Dryleaf. An 8. That is a good roll, but not good enough. He too is infected. Rain. A 7. Infected. I'm just hoping we don't roll a 1 or a 2 here. And a 5. All right. So all 4 of our survivors are infected. We'll cover the treatment option very shortly, but next we're going to move through our settlement events, and we do have one more. See, last Lantern Year, well, certain events came to pass, and Ceres, well, she developed the marrow hunger, and we have to resolve a murder event. Now, I'll just put it out there, I like Ceres, right? So I don't want bad things to happen here. Let me read it. Someone in the settlement has been murdered. The survivor with the highest hunt XP is the victim. They are dead. The murderer, the survivor with the highest insanity, was caught in the act and awaiting punishment. Now, thanks to marrow hunger, we don't have to pick the most insane survivor, although she's pretty close. The murderer immediately defaults to Ceres. Now, in this case, we do still have to choose the survivor with the highest hunt XP, and for us, that's going to be Puck. Now, we kinda knew this was gonna happen, right? He's our binge-eating, retired old man who's been writing about the Phoenix for the last couple of Lantern Years, but it might be all over for him. Let's roll and find out exactly what happens. A 9. Now, we have the accept darkness principle, so we are going off this one here, and this is just about all I needed. The murderer becomes the undisputed boss of the settlement, gains 3 hunt XP. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. Each player selects 1 fighting art and 1 disorder. The murderer must take all of them, replacing any existing fighting arts or disorders they have. Well, there you go. That's going to be fun. So Ceres gains her 3rd age story event, and now we've got to pick out a bunch of new fighting arts and disorders. Let's get into it. Alright, starting with age, we're going to roll on the enhanced senses table there. 2 dice, 16, draw 2 random fighting arts, and gain 1. Well, that's not going to matter so much here because we get to pick everything. It's always fun when we get to choose a new leader. So I've picked 3 of my favorite fighting arts here. We have Tumble, which is just, she already had that, and this is wonderful. You can ignore collision on a 6+, brilliant. We have Timeless Eye. Your attack roll is a perfect hit on a 9 or a 10, and we're going to use that with Combo Master. On a perfect hit, make 1 additional attack roll. As for disorders, I have 4 to choose from. 1, of course, is going to be Quixotic. This thing is insane. If you're insane when you depart, gain +1 survival and +1 strength token. Easily the best disorder in the game. Then we've got Immortal, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be our second choice. While you are insane, convert all damage dealt to your hit locations to brain damage. You are so busy reveling in your own glory that you cannot spend survival while insane. Ooh, no, I want to spend survival. That's the trade-off. I didn't read that properly. All right, well, it's going to have to be these other 2 then. Traumatized. Whenever you end your act adjacent to the monster, you are knocked down. Now that's great. Ceres is our archer and is very unlikely to end her turn next to a monster. Then we have Prey. You may not spend survival unless you are insane. I wonder how that would work with Immortal. Could you just never spend survival? Oof. All right. So Prey, Traumatized, Quixotic, Combo Master, Timeless Eye, and Tumble. Wicked. Now this does mean that we say goodbye to Puck. He too was an archer, a wonderful bowman, but he ate a lot of food and decided to work on his memoirs. So farewell to him. He has been murdered by Ceres. Farewell. All right. So that is both of our 2 settlement events sorted. Now, thanks to our Graves principle, when a survivor dies during the settlement phase, we gain 1 additional endeavor. So I'm going to have to track one of them down. There we go. 5 endeavors. Love it. Pop them there so we don't keep losing focus. Let's find out what makes Lantern Year 20 so special. Guys and gals, we have the Watched story event.
Dark spots spread across the lantern horde. A nervous hush falls over the settlement. Slowly, the most daring survivors peek past the darkened lanterns, venturing beneath them into a vast chamber, unknown and undreamed of. Slumbering in the center of the chamber, the survivors can feel a presence of immense danger. Their ultimate predator will soon wake, extinguishing the lantern light that holds the endless darkness at bay.
We have a barbaric conviction. The survivors decide they must craft the perfect weapon to prepare themselves, gain the ultimate weapon innovation. This does not count towards your settlement innovation total. Then nominate a survivor and roll 1d10. The ultimate weapon. Now this is going to come in handy for a lot of crafting stuff. We gain +1 to the survival limit, and when you defeat a monster, gain 1 monster resource of your choice from its resource deck. So good. Look, I think I'm going to choose Sif here to be the survivor to roll. She's so good with the katars, and she's only just gotten better with the specialist. She's still got plenty of life left in her. She's not even halfway through her hunt XP. I think it's a good call. Now, the reason I'm picking someone with a bit of longevity is if we roll the 6+, they'll gain the quixotic disorder and a ton of insanity. Sif rolls. She gets a 9. Brilliant. The survivor silently decides they are the true hero. They gain 10 insanity and the quixotic disorder. You know how much I love this thing. This is so good. All right, guys and gals. Big decisions from here on out. When do we take on the Watcher? Well, we're not there yet. We've still got to spend our endeavors, potentially do some developing. Ooh. All right. So right now we have 4 very sick survivors. And it's pretty important to me that we cure at least one of them, okay? Now, luckily, we have ammonia, and that's the thing that's going to allow us to cure our survivors here. I'm going to send Dryleaf over with an endeavor, and we're going to roll hoping for a 9+, but anything else, he's cured anyway. 4. No worries. Dryleaf will no longer die at the end of this settlement phase. Eris, I believe we should give another chance. A 7. No worries at all, and she is cured. That costs us our second endeavor. Next we have Rain and Nora. Poor Nora. I think she's been in, one fight and got absolutely owned by the Phoenix, I'd like to say. Dismembered arm, apathetic disorder. I honestly don't think she's worth saving. Is that way too harsh? Anyway, we may as well save Rain. It's always good to have another body. Oh, yes. All right. So we roll the 10 and everybody is cured. Nora, you live to fight another day, girl. Well done. All right. So while I may be brutal, the dice roll is not, and Rain saves the day. Cool. All right. That's fun. All right. We've still got 2 more endeavors left to spend. And I haven't thought too much about what we should do. I definitely would like to innovate because I love it. Let's just see if we've got everything for that. Oh, that's right. I was going to show off the new armors and stuff. So at the end of our fight, then we scored the Regal Greaves. That's for Lucky. He's one step closer to becoming Kingsman himself. And we also scored, well, this is a weird one. There is no second card for the steel sword. However, it is not a unique item. So I guess it is irreplaceable. So if we lose this one, we'll have a second one, but I don't think we can take two of them out. Not sure how that works. Maybe we can only have one and we got nothing new at the end of that encounter. Who knows? If you do know, tell me. All right. Well, we have a monster hide, an organ, and a bone there. We're going to chuck that in with an endeavor, and we are going to innovate. Cool. All right. Carefully go through the deck to make sure I have the ones in there that I need and not the ones that I don't. We're going to draw 4, and we're going to pick 1. Nightmare training, drums, pottery, and bed. I love bed, and I love pottery. All right, this is a good draw for us. So bed, this is a kind of good one. It increases the survival limit and allows us to rest. Now, resting is solid for one simple reason. It can heal broken and ruptured injuries that our survivors have undertaken. One of our survivors, Ceres, has a broken arm and suffers -1 strength and accuracy because of it. If she were to rest in the bed rolling a 4+, we could get those stats back. That would be amazing. Put that in the maybe pile. We're going to put pottery straight in the heck yes pile though. This increases the survival limit and allows us to create love juice and herbs and stuff. The point is though, we can go through the antelope level 2 fight now and actually pick up the barber surgeon settlement location. If you've been watching the videos, you'll know my obsession with that. The other two we've got here are drums, which will actually increase our deck. We'll add a drum consequence to the deck. This allows us to choose one of these, and is the key way that we get the synchronized strike secret fighting art, and we can get rhythm chaser. A very, very good innovation. And then we have nightmare training. Here we can spend an endeavor to potentially get some good stuff. It's one of the only ways that we can boost our weapon proficiency without actually going into a fight. Pretty cool, but you've got to roll pretty high to do so. Look, it's between these two for me. I would really like to heal a broken arm, and I would also really like to get that barber surgeon location. But it's all about what we want to do our next year. If, let's say, we were going to hunt something, I'd go pottery, and we'd hunt the screaming antelope for the trillionth time. However, if we were going after the watcher, I would heal up our archer and we would go in with a solid hit of accuracy. But is it too soon for us to go there? Help me out a little bit here, guys. Watch the vid, comment in the comments down there. Which way do we go? Is it too early to fight the watcher? Tell me what you think. We'll leave this part of development here. We've got one more endeavor. We'll save that till next ep. And there we have it, guys. We made it through, and that was an absolute blast. A bit of a lengthy encounter, but man, that was fun. Lucky absolutely living up to his name and doing everything he needs to do. And what's more, we've got Freya on board with the King's Step, and she's still got plenty of life in her too. The team just did so well. Ceres on the bow, Sif on the guitars, absolutely melting away the wounds there. Far out, that was quality stuff. So yeah, I guess we're moving on from there into the Lantern Year 20. This is where all the big decisions need to be made. Are we going to take on the Watcher? This is endgame material right here. This is the beginning of the end for us all, and I just don't know when to start. Oh, now, like I said, make sure you chuck in your input. Should we go for the bed innovation? I'm surprised no one's thought of the bed in our settlement, but that's okay. Or do we go for pottery so I can get my barber surgeon fix? Who knows? Decisions. But that's okay. That's what this game is about. And I honestly don't mind pushing back if we need to. Now we should be back to regular programming from here on out. Give me a couple of days leeway for a week or so, just so I can get back into the groove of things, because I tell you what, it is hard coming back from holiday and getting into the swing of things. I'm sure you all know about it, but far out. I just wanted to stay in New Zealand forever. Anyway, that is about it for today. So make sure you do all those awesome YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know any goofs, stuff ups, or what you enjoyed about the video down there below. Everything and anything you do here will help this channel grow even further. And I think we just cracked, what, 550 subs? So we're moving on up. This is fantastic, hey? Alright, all that being said, guys, we are about done. So as always, my name's Michael. This is Bits Aboard. We'll catch you next time.